And we are back for winners finals, ASC Tenshi versus RR. But Sherbet, we need to pass the torch to better commentators.
That we do. And as we pass the torch, we'll tell you guys where you can find us. You can find me at Always Sherbet on Twitter. And where can they find you, Pat?
You can also find me on Twitter at PatAutumn with underscores in between.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and we are now passing it on to Bio and IMAD.
Hello everyone, we are now taking this stream hostage, moving on to winners finals between ASC Tenshi and RR. My name is Bio, I am joined here by IMAD, and we will be delivering you this latter half of the tournament. So IMAD, seeing these two very evenly matched teams on this Game 1 Splat Zones on Undertow Spillway, what do you think we're going to see here?
Let's see, Undertow Spillway, well, that's a tough one. This is one of those maps that, like, you see a lot of variety for what teams are comfortable playing. Especially for zones, you got the dual zone, but like the ridge down the middle just makes it difficult to really contest both at the same time. You gotta really focus one or the other.
For sure. Undertow, Splat Zones Undertow is definitely seen as one of the worst maps in the game, mostly because of the fact that since Splat Zones is so centered on the middle of the map, most of your gameplay is going to be funneled through there. And unfortunately, Undertow, its main advantage is that everywhere other than the middle of the map is pretty good. But the center, with that split with the wall like you mentioned, makes it very difficult for teams to maneuver. So really what we're going to be seeing here is which team can get past those obstacles better and just play that middle of the map, which is so important for Splat Zones. But regardless, we're going here into winners finals. ASC Tenshi coming out with the ballpoint double splash machine, pretty basic meta comp, while RR looks with a stamper, something a little bit out of date, I'd say. The stamper has a lot of times been replaced by the ballpoint, which we see ASC Tenshi pull out, but it is definitely viable nonetheless. ASC Tenshi taking control of left zone, but going 2 down unfortunately as AR tried to make their push and set up control.
Yes, the push up rather, the stamper just holding them back, like not able to secure the kill, but honestly with zones, like you don't need to get the kill every single time. It's like just this stalling maneuver helps out so much, but now with the crab getting popped, looks like they're going to be able to contest right back and pretty much get the zone out before they can really make a dent in their point value. Here we see Tenshi just going to be push up with the strikes as well, but the counter is going to remove members from both sides, but Tenshi is the one going to be coming out on top of that zone.
Definitely, we saw ASC Tenshi kind of, that push of theirs a little bit in front of zone, be a little bit scrappy, not quite able to get the pick that they needed. Although they did win the team fight in the short term, the pace that RR is playing at is very quick. They already got those jumps back, and that's a team fight win for RR over ASC Tenshi. You just saw them rebound so quickly from that short team fight loss that they had, and just quickly get those 3 down on ASC Tenshi, and now we see RR trying to find a defensive position to hold zone for as long as they can. But regardless, with that stamper going down, they're not going to have that consistent midline pressure outside of the machine, which is so important for what they're playing at. However, regardless, ASC Tenshi are kind of struggling a little bit with 2 down, the ballpoint jumping back, and although they managed to flip the zone and give RR some penalty, it's already down to basically nothing, and ASC Tenshi, although getting a few picks, was not able to make something substantial happen.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be our first breakaway of the points, but as I say that, Tenshi getting the 3 down is going to be able to push back in, pretty much taking the exact same space RR held on the opposite side of the map. It's like the point value has been rather small, like both these teams have been able to just like take the zone back almost immediately. But now we'll see if Tenshi is able to catch back up in the face of all these specials, but they do go 2 down and they have yet to take that lead back.
For sure, and the stamper cutting out with a double. That is a wipeout on ASC Tenshi. RR managing to get that teamfight win, hold the lead, and yet again we find ASC Tenshi on the back foot. They're really struggling to actually have sparks fly here. RR is doing a great job of spacing them out and managing their resources correctly, but again, just as I say that, it's basically a delayed wipeout on RR. This game is extremely back and forth with both teams. They just struggling a little bit on defense and holding zone, but doing a great job on offense. So we're just seeing this ebb and flow between the two teams that really creates for this exciting dynamic.
Oh my goodness, stalling out at one point, but they are able to take that lead. I think stopping RR before they were able to chew through their penalty points allowed them to be able to get that small lead back, but it's still rather close. Like, RR is coming back with their specials. They're trying to get that zone, not quite able to do so just yet, but it's just the contestant on the zone and just the fact that it's dual zone, you can just stop the counter so easily.
Sure, and that Stamper, Stamper just getting pick after pick after pick, moving the ballpoint from that top left, getting a pick on both splashes is so huge for RR, just cleaving space for them to move forward. However, it is very important that they take that top right and glass. They need to get something set up there, since that is a very advantageous attacking position for ASC Tenshi. They need to get someone set up there, and this crab is not going to find that much value. No picks coming out. If that's a pick, the splash managed to find a crucial pick on the tri-strike user as a 3v4, and the points are ticking down. This is a position for RR to take back the lead. This Inkjet wasn't able to find a pick either. 2 down on the side of ASC Tenshi. Points are coming down. If they can just try to hold this zone, they can maybe even get a knockout here as they tick down. 10 points remaining. 9, 8, 1 down inside of RR. Will they be able to hold it? It is looking difficult. Oof, this ballpoint managing to hold on for dear life, but it's not quite enough, and RR get away with that knockout. What a tense game.
Yeah, the fact that RR was able to win not only 2 but 3 team fights in a row right at the end there, that allows them to just keep the zones all the way to the knockout. You know, the Tenshi tried to get back in as we got into the last couple of points, but just weren't able to do so. Just RR locked it down so well right at the end there, and that's what let them be able to get the knockout. But as it's tough, that map mode. Just there's a lot going on. I think we pretty much the mirror of the comps. You know, that lends itself to a bit more even, but I don't know, it's just tough. It's a tough matchup for that map.
Definitely, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the game, and tying back into what you said with those basically mirror compositions, that was really back and forth. There wasn't really a clear dominance of one team over the other, except for those last few team fights, which as you mentioned, RR managed to make the most of. We really saw both teams go at it, struggling to defend the zone in the face of the other's strong offense. But regardless, RR, like you mentioned, managed to take back that zone, get that lead with all those team fights, win one after the other, and finally get that clean knockout. Now, this will be a counter pick based format, so we are waiting for the counter pick coming out of ASC Tenshi. But tell me, based on what we've seen, ASC Tenshi, not only the comps that they just used in this set, but also previously, what maps do you think might be good for their ballpoint centric comp?
Well, if we're talking about specifically ballpoint, like the first thing that comes to mind is just Manta Maria. The comp or the layout for that, and just the fact that it has grates is so good. But Hagglefish would be also made top 3. I think that is an excellent choice for using ballpoint.
Oh, for sure. We've already seen a lot of Splatlings have good use on this map, specifically Heavy, as it is a great choice for some more agile compositions, especially with weapons such as Stamper, Sultana Stamper. And, actually, never mind. We are going to Splat Zones on Wahoo World. Definitely a bit of a last-minute mix-up there. But definitely a good stage for ballpoint nonetheless. It really gets to shine with that long-range mode of its, which is basically almost to Hydra's range. So we may see it be able to wall out RR pretty effectively. But as we're seeing with all these crabs, do you think that might be a big counter to ballpoint, as we're seeing that ballpoint sometimes gets shut down by the crabs that can simply shred it faster?
It'll be tough. I feel like the crab will definitely have the advantage when they're playing defense in the zone, but it's not going to be as much help getting back in, because the crab really benefits a lot from the high ground, but there's just a lot of defensive posture you get from being in the middle. I think the ballpoint can capitalize that a little bit better. I think the thing they're going to have to watch out for is the tri-strikes coming out from the attacking team. Like, that will definitely drive them out and just leave them in position to retake zone.
For sure, and we're seeing both teams come out with their with their classic compositions. Double crab on the side of RR with ASC Tenshi going with that ballpoint. This Stamper getting an opening double kill. Great job opening up so much space for their team to start forcing their way forward. However, unfortunately, one goes down. It is a trade, which will end up favoring RR on the defense. And 2 down on ASC Tenshi. I'm not sure if I like that push from the splash. Very, very aggressively. A bit of an overextension, which is going to cost them a precious crab tank. They only have the Tri-Strike and the Inkjet online. Especially this Inkjet is going to have to come up big, get 1 or 2 picks to open up space for their team. Moving in with these Tri-Strikes, 2 specials popped at the moment. If they can get a pick on that machine, that would be great. They do pick the splash. I'm not sure if that was enough. Those were 3 specials invested by ASC Tenshi, and we're already seeing the ramifications of that. That's 2 down on both sides. But RR may possibly have the advantage just because they still have the specials they need. Although ASC Tenshi was able to flip the zone, RR just have that crab to come back.
Like, once again, we're seeing that RR is definitely taking advantage of the team fights. They're winning them more consistently, and we saw they were able to get down to 35. But as you said before, just the extension of that splash, they went 2 down, then 2 down again. And they have to wait for those mates to respawn and get those specials back, which was already down to 50 at that point. And now, once again, RR just holding that zone rather effectively. You know, just the aggression of the Stamper here, and then the crab tank on top of that. But now we're seeing the Inkjet put in some work, just completely clearing them out from the bridge.
For sure, and this is what I'm saying. Those Inkjets have to come up big, which it did, but it might not matter. This Stamper is putting out so much pressure with that Zipcaster, with those verticals, with those horizontals, doing a great job, and just honestly getting quite a few picks, but not quite able to get that splash, which is going to hold zone. But again, it's back and forth. That double crab from R is going to shut things down. They see the 2 members of ASC Tenshi on the far left side. A trade with the splash. Not sure if that was worth it. It is a shark, but it is going to be discovered by the machine. Not enough, buddy. And we finally see ASC Tenshi get some semblance of control over the zone, with RR getting on their back foot with only 1 crab tank online.
I feel like ASC Tenshi here are really going to have to punish that Stamper earlier on, because it's the opening picks that get them into the zone, and it looks like they're just able to do that. The Stamper goes down, the crab gets used, but no members of ASC Tenshi have been taken down, so they are still in solid control of the zone and 5 points away from that lead. They just got to build a special, and the Stamper go down again. That's going to be huge. The Booyah Bomb is going to come out, but it's not going to be enough to take the zone, and with the crab and defense, it is going to solid some more points.
So this crab on the right side, though, gets 2. That is 3 on the side of ASC Tenshi, and what seemed like a surefire knockout has now been flipped for RR, buying themselves just a few more minutes with that penalty. And RR once again are looking to hold this. Zipcaster comes out, looks for the ballpoint, looks for Lou, not quite able to, gets punished by the Splash-O-Matic. That is a 3v4 in favor of ASC Tenshi. However, no, never mind. The Neo Splash goes down. It is a crab battle here, and honestly, for RR, it is in their favor to simply stall this out. Like, Stamper might go down, but with that crab tank, they're just going to get so much time, and all they have to do is just paint zone. They get the lead. It's 2 down the side of ASC Tenshi. Knockout is basically right there. I don't think there's anything they can do, and yeah, that's another knockout for RR. This is becoming a recurring pattern. ASC Tenshi and RR are always at each other's necks, winning one team fight after the other, etc., etc. But it's always in those last few team fights that RR managed to pick up their feet and get stuff done.
No, absolutely. And we saw like the Splash trying to make a hero play from the back, but they were called out too quickly for them to really get any paint on the zone. And that's the thing, is like there are several times where RR would stagger the splats of Tenshi, and that costs them so many points. Like with zones, you have to be able to stay together with your team and be able to win those team fights, because you just lose so much time when you don't.
For sure. And yeah, it's just as you mentioned, it's just those splashes, especially the splashes on the side of ASC Tenshi were constantly kind of overextending. They were going for some main weapon hero play, as you called them, and it really what they needed was just to play for their specials. And and it was just really making it very difficult for ASC Tenshi to get a coordinated push going when one of their splashes was constantly going for a flank or constantly going for a fight. And we just saw RR being able to punish those overextensions very, very effectively and very quickly, giving them those advantages. But regardless, we are now going into Game 3. Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market. Match point, I believe, for RR. This is going to be definitely the map that we mentioned favored ballpoint. So ASC Tenshi may have the upper hand here if they're able to play this correctly. Same comp coming out from the side of ASC Tenshi. Same composition on the side of RR. No changes here, folks. And this is match point.
Yeah, the double splash certainly has does a lot of work on this, but again, the ballpoint is such a good counter for it. There's a lot of angles and a lot of positions that can take that can pressure them when they don't have that crab. And then we're going to see the first ink strikes coming out, getting a pick, but the Stamper just once again keeping them off the zone, and already we're seeing 2-3 down for ASC Tenshi.
And that ballpoint was the last one out. They managed to jump back, but you just saw that Stamper crab. Those combos just fit so perfectly together. And it was really difficult for ASC Tenshi to really fight back. The Stamper going for those aggressive ledge jumps, but a double kill from the
Oh my word!
Can he get the fourth? Not quite, but the damage is... Wait, actually, never mind. Just in the midst of that, it is now a 1v1 between the ballpoint and the splash. Not able to... ASC Tenshi managed to flip the zone, keeping RR from getting any more points on the board, but still, that was very, very scrappy on their part. They're not going to have many specials to defend here, and even now, they're just barely winning thanks to individual 1v1s being won.
We do see the Glee's arm coming out, but they are going to be shredded by the Inkjet coming out from on high, and they're going to be able to escape. But so far, like RR is on the back foot, like they're just coming back from spawn, and ASC Tenshi has a lot of control over zone. Although they do get a penalty added, they're still doing a good work at keeping control of the map.
Yeah, that crab is going to have to be forced to back away, but again, the damage is done. ASC Tenshi goes 2 down. RR looking to take some space, getting walled out a little bit by bombs, but this splash, Fly Zero going so far in with that Stamper. Look at that. They are already taking an advanced position onto ASC Tenshi's 10, and once you get a crab set up there, you cannot move. You just see look how much space this crab tank is denying from ASC Tenshi. They just can't move forward. Fortunately, they do drop. I'm not sure if that was a great idea, but a trade comes out. Still in the favor of RR, but not if they can't stay alive. That is 2v3 now. RR does have the crab tank. If it managed to get enough value, it may be the teamfight win here. Not quite. It is still a 2v2. Knockout position for RR. But however, this Inkjet is going to cut away all hope, getting 1 pick, 2 picks. And if ASC Tenshi manages to flip the zone, and they do, RR is back to fighting normally. Stamper.
Oh,
a triple kill from the Stamper is just going to shut things down.
We saw such a good play from the Inkjet. They're able to take down a member and a half. That allowed Tenshi to get back in the zone before they could really run away with that. But then the Stammer coming back and flipping the script so fast with that triple, and now they're already 3 down. And as we saw before, once they get up into the splat, this is where things get really dangerous, because you have to expend the resources just to push them back out. And then there's nothing left to actually get the zone.
Exactly, and they need to make something happen here quickly. This ballpoint going to go for that Inkjet, needs to make something happen. This crab tank, if it can get the pick on the machine before it can throw the... Not quite, the splash goes behind. Oh, but it's not enough. And ASC Tenshi managed to flip the zone at the last second, buying themselves just a little bit more time. And once again, we are back in neutral. But again, I stand corrected. This Stamper consistently getting pick after pick after pick. That's 3 down on the side. That's a delayed wipe for ASC Tenshi. The Stamper putting in some incredible work, just consistently breaking the neutral game to give their team a sizable advantage.
What ASC Tenshi is running here, like they got a lot of strong advantages for their comp. They got some good plays here, but then just the sheer aggressiveness of RR just shutting them down before they could really get something going. And we see the Inkjet coming out once again, trying to stall that zone, but I don't think it'll be enough. 2 points remaining. They are so close to getting that knockout, and they are going to flip it back for the 3-0.
Very clean sweep from RR, and again, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You just see RR managing to just clutch out those last few team fights, which is just enough for them to get that KO. And I'm sorry, the MVP of this match, as well as the others, was that Platana Stamper player, consistently getting 2-3 picks, basically almost every team fight, which just flipped the advantage state so far in favor of their team that any picks, any advantages that ASC Tenshi may have had just got completely negated and gave RR the recovery they needed to hold the zone even longer. But regardless, folks, that is now winners finals done. We are going to be moving, I believe, to losers finals really quickly in just a second. We are going to be taking a short break, but we will be right back. Stay tuned.
Splatoon Stronghold, a stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a Getting Started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you are a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and join tournaments as well as participate in our Captain Forum and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today!